This in the deep darkness of the night, an old, dilapidated house stood on the edge of the city. People called it the House of Death. This centuries-old house was in disrepair. The windows without glass, the doors rusty, and the black spots of moisture on the walls made the desolation of this house even more terrifying. Whenever the children of the neighborhood passed by it, they would lower their eyes, as if their eyes did not want to draw its shadow inside. The story begins with 5 friends: Ali, Hamza, Nita, Haina, and Amir. All were between the ages of 20 and 25. Their biggest mistake was that they were fond of adventure, and this passion often proved to be dangerous. One evening they were sitting and talking among themselves when Hamza said, "Guys, I heard that whoever went to the old house in this neighborhood did not come back. What if we learn that secret tonight?" At first, everyone laughed it off, but after a while, curiosity prevailed. Nita said, "There are 5 of us. No one can do anything to us so easily. Let's go." So they stood in front of this deserted house at 10 o'clock at night. The air was cold, but the atmosphere around the house seemed even colder, as if someone was staring at them with unseen eyes inside the walls. Ali pushed the door open. The sound of creaking shook their hearts. The atmosphere inside was filled with rotten wood, old moisture, and the smell of death. The room was completely dark. Only a few rays of moonlight were coming in through the broken windows. The first room was strange. There were scratches on the walls, as if someone had scratched the wall with their nails. An old chair was placed in the corner, which was so covered in dust that it seemed that no one had sat there for many years. But as soon as Nita shone the flashlight on the chair, it moved slightly. Everyone stepped back. Hamza strengthened his heart and touched the chair. Suddenly, a scene appeared in front of him. As if an old man sitting on the chair had chained himself, he was trying to free himself from the chair. He was screaming, but only Hamza could hear the sound. Everyone else was wondering why he was staring at the empty space. After a few moments, the scene ended. Hamza's face was yellow, he said, covered in sweat. Someone died on this chair. Everyone looked at each other. Until now, it was only stories, but the reality was in front of them. They moved forward. They entered the other room. There were blood stains on the floor, old and black. A swing was hanging in the middle of the room, as if it was for a child. Haina shone the flashlight, and the swing slowly started to move, without anyone touching it. Nita said in a trembling voice, "Why is this swing moving by itself?" Suddenly, the shadow of a little girl appeared on the swing, but her face was empty. No eyes, no nose, just a black void. She screamed loudly and disappeared with the light. At that moment, Amir suddenly fell to the ground. Everyone ran to him, but Amir disappeared. It was over. In its place, only his mobile phone was lying on the floor, blood streaks on the screen. Now fear had gripped everyone, but curiosity was not letting them back down. They opened the third room. This room was like a kitchen. The dishes were broken, the cupboards were open, and an old pot was placed on the stove. The surprising thing was that smoke was rising from this pot, as if someone had just cooked food. Ali raised the lid fearfully. There was only black water inside, and a human hand was floating in it. At that moment, the window of the room closed tightly, and a shadow appeared. He was tall, thin, and faceless. He stepped forward and grabbed Haina. Everyone else screamed, but could do nothing. In moments, that shadow pulled Haina into the darkness. Now only 3 were left. Their steps were shaking now, but they were moving forward. The fourth room was like a library. Old books were scattered. A diary was open on the table. Nita picked up the diary. It was written on it, "Who in this house I entered. He died. Those who survived were imprisoned in their dreams for the rest of their lives." As soon as Nita read this, blood started flowing from her eyes. Her body started to shake and she fell to the ground. In a few moments, she became lifeless. Now only Ali and Hamza were left. Both of them decided that it was dangerous to go further. They started to go back, but the door of the house was locked. Despite a lot of effort, it would not open. They opened the fifth room. There was a large mirror here. As soon as Hamza looked in the mirror, he saw the shadows of Amir, Haina, and Nita behind him, but their faces were distorted, as if they were in torment. They were shouting, "Come with us. You two will be imprisoned." Hamza went near the mirror and suddenly pulled inside. Now he turned into a shadow. Ali was left alone. He shouted, "Leave us. What do you want from us?" At that moment, all the lights in the house automatically turned on. On the walls were written in blood, "This house is hungry. The soul of every visitor is its sustenance." Ali tried to run away, but the ground cracked. Black smoke enveloped him, and he too disappeared. The house became silent again, as if nothing had happened. The next morning, the neighbors see that the house is exactly the same, deserted, silent, and waiting for its next victim. This was the story of a deserted house, a place that never lets those who enter it back out. If you like this scary story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel Cursed Narratives, because you will only hear such scary stories here.